So the past tells us a lot. Many lessons and hidden tales reside in its pages. After all, that is where Christ himself played out his life. With Easter on its way, I thought to myself, how can we bring the wisdom of the past back to the present for us to learn a simple thing or two? And the answer is simple. Now, I wanted to take us to the past, but I couldn't, so I thought, let me bring the past to us. So I have made history and invented a time machine. Yes, if you wonder what I do in the office, I'm inventing a time machine. So I have bought a Roman Legionary from AD 33 to join us tonight. So without further ado, please welcome Gaius Septimus. This way. Would you like to join me up here, guys? Up here? Welcome, Gaius. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you coming.
Salve, nominum est Gaius Septimus, quis natus populusque Romanum.
What?
Vino veritas sum.
Oh, you speak in Latin. I've got a lozenge. I also invented a lozenge to translate for us. Would you like taking one?
Got you. Is it working? Yes, hello. My name is Gaius Septimus, and I'm a Roman legionary from the year 117. Sorry, AD 33. My Roman numerals are a bit rusty. And I come all the way from the time of Caesar Tiberius. Yes, I've been serving in the Roman legionary proudly for 6 years of my life so far.
So, you're wearing something quite interesting. I don't know if you've noticed, but we don't wear that. Would you like to explain to us what you're wearing?
Ah, yes, the attire. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, I will explain. The attire of a Roman legionary from the year AD 33. So, starting from the bottom, future people, I wear my caligae, which translates to sandal boots. Can you see them here? And if you look underneath, they are hobnailed, which means they have little iron nails. And this is so that our sandals last longer, and also they give us good grip when facing the enemy. Going further up, I wear my tunica or tunic. This is the most basic garment of the Roman legionary. Every single one of us wears a tunica. And indeed, when it is cold, we wear pants and also socks. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is true that the fighting force that conquered the world wore socks and sandals. And going further up, I wear my lorica segmentata, which translates to my segmented armor. Made out of full 12-gauge steel and reinforced with brass trimmings, this armor is quite the incredible design, because what it does is it is segmented, so it hugs the body in a very clever way, so there's much freedom of movement, as I will demonstrate. Of course, it's a bit noisy, sorry about that. But the world needs to know when we've arrived. And that brings me to the cingulum. The cingulum or belt is a symbol of the Roman soldier. Every soldier in the legion wears a cingulum, and as you can hear, it makes a very nice sound. This is a sound that signifies when the Roman legion has arrived. So the sound of the cingulum with the sound of the hobnailed boots signifies when the Roman legion has arrived. And of course, on my waist, I wear my gladius, or sword. This is the weapon with which the Romans has conquered the whole world with. You're probably thinking to me, Gaius, why is it so short? Huh? Very, very short little thing. But that is the thing, is that us Roman legionaries would, in our strategy, get right up close to the enemy, like this, yes? And short stabbing thrusts. Sorry, you're a good future person. I will not do anything to you. But some of these people here, Anyway, yes, this is the gladius. And did you know that the word gladiator comes from the word gladius? Gladiator simply means sword wielder. Going further up, I wear my focale or scarf. The focale is also the great symbol of the great Roman legion. Different colors would symbolize which legion you are a part of. So I wear white for Legio ex Gemina, which is the 10th legion Gemini. And of course, going further up, I wear on my head my Gallia or helmet. The Gallia is a great design because, as you can see, it has cheek guards which give the face optimal protection but not sacrificing vision. And look over here. Imagine you are the enemy facing us Romans and you strike. I will flinch. Or maybe I flinch this way. And as you can see, the neck brow over here will cover and protect my neck wherever I flinch, which is a very smart design, so I'm protected from head to toe then. And this, of course, you're probably wondering, Gaius, why is my face still so exposed? But that is the thing. Being in the Roman Legionary, we are stationed all over the known world, from Britannia in the north to Egypt in the south, from Hispania to the west to Judea to the east. And of course, us in the Legion value flexibility and adaptability. So if we had visors with barely any vision, we could not communicate with each other. And this we viewed was enough worthy sacrifice for protection, for communication. And also over here, I'm equipped with my scutum, or shield. The scutum is a very, very smart design. It is a very big shield, and this design has not changed in centuries, all the way since the time of the Roman Republic, the Res Publicae. And it covers, when held, from all the way to my toes, all the way up. So as you can see, the only place I'm exposed is the tips of my toes and my face. But those are small sacrifices worthy of the Roman legionary. Last but not least, my pilum. So this, future people, is a javelin, a throwing spear. Not a stabbing spear, a throwing spear. It is very smart design because it is essentially an anti-shield javelin, in that the front of the spear is tempered iron, while the shaft is not tempered, making it softer. So what it does is it punches a hole through the enemy shield, killing the man behind it. But if it fails to do so, then the shaft, being untempered, will bend inside the shield, meaning that the user has no choice but to not be able to pull it out and to throw his shield away before battle. This is the genius behind the Roman invention. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the attire of a Roman legionary.
That is incredible, thank you. So I think you've been marching for a really long time. Would you like to come have a seat?
Oh, yes, please.
So this is a table and this is a chair. Have you seen these before?
We invented them. Oh. Okay, fine. The Egyptians invented them, but we take credit as Romans.
Oh, okay. So, Gaius, can you tell me, what is life like in the Roman legion?
That is a very good question. Yes, life in the Roman Legionary is a very tough life, but a very fulfilling life. We served 25 years of our lives in the Roman Legion in my time, in the reign of Caesar Tiberius. Since I've been serving for 6 years, I still have another 19 years of my life in servitude to the emperor. Now, of course, life is not all tough marching all day. Yes, we sometimes march up to 30 kilometers in one day, my friends. Yes, indeed, it is a very, very tiring life. However, we eat some very good food. Would you guys in the future like to see what us Romans ate and drank? All right, here we go. Hold the future thing for me, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that big stick that I was carrying is called a furca. The furca literally translates from Latin to meaning fork, and it is in the shape of a fork, and that is where we carry our entire lives on. Everything we own, everything we do is carried by the furca. And on the furca, we carry many items such as this, which is a small little sack containing the food of the Roman legionary. Everything that you ate, everything that you drank is inside this little bag over here. As you can see, I've tied very, very tight because you don't want it coming loose in the march. Better to rather finick with it for a while than to have it come all off while you are marching all the way to Germania. All right, there we go. That is it. Almost there.
So in our time, we just use plastics. I don't think you have plastics in your time.
Plastics. What is plastics?
That's a good question.
I'd rather save that for another time then. So ladies and gentlemen, what did us Roman legionaries drink? The answer is posca.
Posca, not Prosecco.
Posca. Posca is essentially water that has been diluted with wine and vinegar. Many people in the future, even I, was quite taken back by how bitter it is. But really, it grows on you if you've been in here for 6 years. And the purpose of the posca is to simply, the acids inside the wine and the vinegar neutralize any diseases in the water. Because remember, we cannot trust water. I'm sure you know this very well. Never drink water, all right? I'm sure you also do that in the future. It's very nice, yes. Would you like to try? Come on. Oh, okay. Fine. I'll leave what's in the past to the past. Now you're probably wondering, what did the Roman legionaries eat? And I have it right over here. The staple diet of a Roman legionary is, yes, bread. I'm sure you have bread in the future, do you? Don't tell me you don't have bread. Good. So we eat bread every day. We are issued with about 0.5 kilogram of bread every single day. And trust me, it may seem like a lot, but you need it when doing all the 30-kilometer marching. With the bread, we have olive oil. Olive oil makes for a great palate cleanser, and we also not only eat the olive oil, we cook with it, we even bathe with it. We pour oil on our skin and use a little sickle to scrape off all the dirt, making us nice and clean again. We also eat fish, we also eat cheese, and also, my favorite, dates. Dates are one of my favorite foods, and since I'm stationed in Judea, I, of course, eat dates on a daily basis. So yes, indeed, I've been stationed for the past 3 years in Judea, and it has been a very grueling stay. Many soldiers do not envy this position. It is very, very hot. But I tell them that we are doing our duty for the emperor. So yes, that is where I've been stationed.
So because you've been stationed in Judea, does that mean that you've had an encounter with Christ?
Yes. So it was after a long patrol, while I went back guarding the centurion's tent, and suddenly there was this man, Jesus, and he had this crowd following behind him, and he was telling what he called a parable, a story. So he was telling this parable of a poor farmer, but this farmer, he said, was blessed with the greatest riches. And what this farmer did was he created great big barns to store all of the riches in and hoard it all for himself. But then Christ continued to say, very strangely, is that this is bad. You should not hoard the riches for yourself, but rather use the riches for the kingdom of God. And now I thought to myself, how strange would Jupiter order us to give all our riches for him? But then it clicked. It clicked that he was not talking about my God Jupiter and all of his, bullying us mortals. He was telling us about the one and true God.
Sure. So when you saw Jesus, this Christ, how did it make you feel seeing him?
He's unlike any man that I've ever seen before. He had a very calm and gentle and warm demeanor about him. Whenever he spoke, his words were soft and gentle. And whenever he did anything or moved, I got a sense of inexplainable peace. Yes, he's unlike any other man I've ever met in my life.
That's beautiful. So, guys, I saw when you came up, you had a sack. Can you tell us what's in your sack?
Yes, my sack. Definitely. I will explain to you what is inside. Hold this. Oh, I'll put down here. These are just some of the things that I plundered from the barbarians. This one is from Germania. This one is from Britannia. And this one is here from Judea. Yes.
Guys, didn't Christ say something about holding riches? And I don't think you got these organically. You plundered them.
Mamma mia, that is true. Oh, that is true. You're right. You're right. I know. Yes, Christ did warn us about this. He told us not to plunder and hoard things up for ourselves. And it's true, you know, the more that I plunder, the more that I want, and the thirstier I become.
Oh, that's okay, guys. So that Jesus that you saw, he forgives us when we ask for forgiveness. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you another question. When did you realize that Jesus Christ is the Son of God?
Yes. It happened 1 month after I first saw him. I was just stationed to a new patrol duty when I saw Christ walking with the crowd, so naturally I decided to follow him and keep tabs on him should he incite rebellion. Remember, us legionaries are always on the lookout for rebellions inside Judea, anywhere in the empire that is not our own land. And so, of course, I followed him, keeping tabs on this man. Then he suddenly turned around and spoke to his crowd, another one of his parables, his stories. He told this time the story of the rich men who would give many, many, many coins to the temple. And of course, this was only a small fraction of their wealth. But then this old woman came in and she gave just one small little coin. All the rich men, they laughed at her. But to the woman, this was representing her entire life. This was 90% of everything she owned. And Christ continued to tell us how this is true and that sometimes it may seem like little that we give, but sometimes a little is a lot. And I could have sworn that as Christ was telling this parable, he looked me right into the eye. And right there, I suddenly got a sense of shame. Shame. I even ran to him and I went down onto his knees weeping, saying that I'm so sorry. I robbed and murdered someone on one of my patrols. But Christ, I was expecting him to shame me or to even give me a beating. But no. Instead, he only looked at me and said, "You are forgiven." And right there and then, I realized this man is the Son of the one true God.
Wow. I think many of us would give anything to see Jesus in person, especially to have him sit at our table and share a meal with us. But this leads me to my next question. How did you witness Jesus' death? Did you witness his crucifixion?
It was after we did something terrible to him. You see, us Romans, we did not want to meddle too much into Hebrew affairs. So many of the Jews were angry with this Christ claiming to be the Messiah, which he was. But of course, there was disagreement. So us Romans decided to put it into their hands and allow them to trial him. And what a facade that trial was. It was a farce. I, of course, did not see any of it because I was stationed on guard outside the door, but I heard every word. I heard the insults, the slander, the rude words to this man, this gentle man. And right at the end of it, it was decided to crucify him. The most innocent man in the whole of the world to sentenced to be crucified, a criminal's death. No, that was not right. And so afterwards, I had to watch him carry his own cross up to the hill, but I could do nothing about it. I was so tempted to draw my sword and stop the whole thing, to show him what a good man he is. But I realized that my career would end right there and then, and so would my wife back at home in Italica. So I had no choice but to do nothing but just to watch this man. And so, of course, as he climbed up to the hill towards his death, they nailed nails into him one by one. Every minute of it was agony, and I could not watch. And eventually he was pulled up on the cross, upright, hanging from the cross, alongside other dirty criminals, such a good man. And so, of course, I was stationed to another sector in Judea that afternoon, but I avoided my duty and pretended to be on guard with the men who were guarding the cross. So I was with Quintus and Julius. But now you see, they were my friends. We were in the same army, serving the same emperor. But never in my entire life have I felt more alien than then. Casted out from my own army. While I was crying inside for this man I had only met once, they were busy laughing, drawing lots to see who should inherit his loins. So yes, and straight after that, an enormous, terrible thunder struck. I did not see it with my own eyes, but word has it that the centurion saw that the veil on the temple had split right in half. And when I went to go look, indeed it had. So yes, future people, indeed, it was a day that I shall never, never forget.
And that's a day we still acknowledge 2,000 years later. Can you believe it?
Really, 2,000 years. So it must be 2033 in your time, future people. Incredible. Per aspera ad astra viribus unitis quesutu. Oh. Sorry, that was a mistake. I see it wears off. But you know what is an even bigger mistake is that Latin is extinct in the future. Why do you not speak Latin, everybody? It's very sad. You know, I also think that these people in the future, That's the Roman Legion. I've got to go now. I'm sorry. You know what? And I'm busy speaking future language. What am I supposed to do?
Way off, don't worry. Way off.
Fine, I hope you're right. Anyway, you know what? Keep the riches. That is my deed for Christ from the past to the future. Okay, goodbye. Legionary cause, goodbye.
Bye. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. I hope you've learned a lot from what life was like at a Roman legionary. I'd like to hand the mic back to Mel.
I went to a youth group event where Gareth was performing, and that was the first time that I saw him. The kids and his accents and his dress and all of that just captivated them. And how lovely it was this evening just to be able to step back into the past and to hear a little bit about what it may have been like.